Yo, what up, everyone? Welcome back to the Dubs Only podcast. And for this episode, we're going to be doing a reaction to Bam Adebayo's 83-point performance last night against the Washington Wizards at home. We're going to get into my reaction, just what do I think about it, how I thought the Wizards played defense, where does this rank among all-time scoring performances. We're going to look into what we saw, what other players / coaches had to say about it. We're going to go into some breakdown of some of the plays that occurred as well as the context that goes behind the performance itself. So some people might like what I have to say. Some people might not like what I have to say, agree or disagree. These are my opinions. That's what I believe going on with this performance and just basketball in general. So with all that being said, let's just dive into it.
My little bros come to me for information. I have my rounds, look, I've been across the town. Whatever you want to do in life, just always hold it down. Driving down the 110, going 110.
All right, then let's go ahead and dive into this performance with Bam's 83 points. We're going to look at the stat line right now, and along with those 83 points, Bam had 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. Now, I'm not surprised by the 2 blocks and 2 steals because Bam is one of the best players on the defensive end in the NBA right now. If not top 5, he's up there, the top 3 defender in the league, all-around defender, being able to guard from 1 through 5. Let's go ahead and go into these shooting performances because they're pretty lackluster, pretty not so pretty at all. So from the field, he shot 20 for 43, under 50%. From 3, 7 for 22, under 30%. Let's go for the free throws. All-time record-breaking performance from the free throw line as well. He went 36 for 43. So what are my initial thoughts when I read this stat line? I'm thinking that, okay, he didn't shoot the ball particularly well from the field, going under 50%. We compare to the free throw attempts at 43, which I believe is an NBA record in itself as well. And that's something that you do not like to see regarding all-time scoring performances. Now, we will dive into just a majority of the foul calls that were called in this game and just what I did think initially. We're going to go into that breakdown a little later. But when I see 20 for 43 from the field, I'm thinking that you're pretty much chucking up the ball. You're not able to hit your shots when you're missing easy shots that you should have made, which I saw in the film. The three-point itself, 7 for 22, not really great. More again, it looks like you're just chucking up the ball, hoping to score these points instead of just letting the flow come to you. And we're gonna go into that flow coming to him because the one thing that I did notice in this game that we're going to get into, but before I make this point, in the first quarter, Bam Adebayo scored 31 points to open up this game. And when I saw that stat line and when I saw that notification on my phone, I thought, okay, my initial reaction when I saw him score 31 in the first quarter was, you know what, DoorDash, I'm going to get that 50% promo code. Just because DoorDash is doing this promo code that if anyone scores 50 points in a game, they're going to do 50% off the following day with any orders. So that was my first initial thoughts. But really, I thought, okay, he's going to he has a real shot at getting 50 here because 31 and a quarter, he's probably going to sit a majority of the second quarter and then third quarter he'll pop off. And if the game is pretty much over, then he's going to sit a majority of the fourth. That's what my belief was. Instead, the exact opposite happened because what happened was we're going to go into the fourth quarter itself because in those final minutes of the game, well, all throughout the fourth quarter, Bam's team was up double digits. I want to say they were up 20-plus points at one point when the game was over. But what we saw his teammates do was, I'll say it was disgraceful to the game. There was no integrity behind it, which, in my opinion, waters down his all-time great performance. You could see his teammates foul the other team, the Wizards, in order to get extra possessions so that Bam had a legit shot to break the record. And by all means, I'm not against anyone breaking any type of record. Records are meant to be broken. I am a Kobe Bryant fan. I am a huge Kobe Bryant fan. But at the end of the day, if someone is gonna beat his record or beat him with scoring more points than him, then you're gonna want to see him do it in a genuine and just a genuine way with integrity, not being that your teammates have to foul the other team in order to get you more possessions, not you staying in the game when the game is already over. Those two things are that I take away the most on why this performance is watered down. You see also the foul calls towards the end. It's like, why are we calling these fouls if the game is already over? The Heat are already up. You're playing against the Washington Wizards, a team that is in play for the number one pick in the lottery with one of the worst records in the NBA. Your two star players that you acquired before the trade deadline aren't playing. So you're out there just with rookies, G Leaguers, journeymen, just players who we know who aren't going to be in the NBA that much longer, who are on just in a bad situation, just looking to get their name and their numbers up. And with all that being said, it just shows, and people are going to say, well, they're in the NBA. A professional is a professional. A pro is a pro. If you're in the league, you're in the league. That is true. But let's not act like there aren't levels to the NBA. Let's not act like a G Leaguer isn't going to compare to a veteran, or let's say that a rookie is not going to be able to compare to like a third-year player who's been a starter. You know what I mean? We're not going to do that. We're not going to compare apples to oranges. Yeah, they're all fruit at the end of the day, but also, what kind of fruit are we talking about here? And that's where I'm gonna leave it with that. So I said we're gonna go into the free throws and the ticky-tack fouls and what Bam was able to get during his fouls. So I have this video right now that I'm gonna play while I watch it, and we're gonna go into some of these fouls and just what do I think. So here we go. We got Bam driving in, Alex Sarr. Okay, fadeaway, that's a foul. That first one is a foul, 100%. Drives in. That is a little ticky-tack foul, but I saw he got the bump at the end. I give him the benefit of the doubt. Drives in again. That's another foul. He got hit in the arm going up. I have no complaints about that right there. Let's go again, posting up. A little hand fighting. Wouldn't really call that. Gets the rebound on the free throw. Yep, that's a foul. Man in the air. Too strong, too big, got held down. That's another foul right there. Let's go. Yup, baseline. That's a foul right there. Got hit with the body. And I'm just going to go what I think is the foul or not. That right there, the drive in on Alex Sarr for the and one. I don't see enough contact to make that a foul. Drive in. I would not call that a foul right there as well. It's not a foul. That's just basketball. Okay. Drive in again. I don't see how that's a foul. It's two back-to-back fouls. I don't know. Okay, hit him with the Smitty. Goes baseline. I don't see how that's a foul either. Bam is trying to step through himself, trying to initiate the contact. So I would not give that to him. Okay, that looks like good defense. Maybe a little bump at the end, but he's the one who's putting his shoulder into the defender. That's a foul right there. You have to let him get his position right there. Drive in. Lost the ball. Don't see how that's a foul. Jab step, drive in, that's a foul right there. Defender in the corner, got him. Drive in again, that's a foul. Number 7, got him right there on the way up. Not complaining against that. Let's see. Okay, drive in, that's a foul. Got him on the bump when he was trying to drive in. Free throw drive. Okay, he got a little bump going for the drive in. It's a little ticky-tack, but okay. You could call that, but I wouldn't call that. I mean, we already know where he is and what he's trying to do at this point. That's not a foul. That's just a little gimme right there. Over 2. Terrible shot, but he gets his own board. Drives in. That's a foul. Yep, that's a foul. I'm giving that to him. Now we're going to the triple team right here. Yep, there it is. That's a moving screen, if anything. Don't tell me we're calling that a foul. That's a terrible call right there. Okay, again, spinning into the defender. That is not a foul, in my opinion. That is not a foul. So we saw a majority of those. Yes, they were fouls. Bam is stronger than anyone on that team. He's older than anyone on that team. More experienced than anyone on that team. So he knows how to get that, how to make that physical contact and be able to get fouls based off of that. We're not taking it. Were there fouls on him? Yes, we're not denying that. But there were. Let's not play or let's not act that Bam wasn't that Bam didn't initiate some of that contact himself. Let's not act like quite a few of those were ticky-tack fouls that did not deserve to go to the free throw line. And my thing is with Bam also, now let's just look at some of the shots that he took going into now we're going to look at the shots that he didn't make. The 0 for 23, the 0 for 15 from 3, 0 for 7 from free throws. Let's go ahead and look at this now. All right, shooting over a double team, air ball. Trying to get a foul right there. Barely hits rim. Posts up. He sees double coming. Shoots it. Way off. Let's see what else we got. Bam. Okay. Shoot it. Missed again. I like that shot. I'm not mad at it. Catch and shoot. He was feeling it. Missed. Pull up. He had the space. He was feeling it. Missed again. Drive baseline. Let's see. Missed. Oh. Good defense. Wide base right there for the shot. Missed. Wide open. Missed. Wide open again. Short. Drive in. Missed. Okay. Driving in again. Posts up on Sar. Goes with the hook. Missed. Short. Corner. Mid-3. Missed. Drives in. Left-hand layup. Missed. Surprised he didn't get that call. Drives in again, pulls back, shoots another 3. I like the shot. Air balls. Drives in. Missed. Another shot. Contest right there by Sar. It was a miss. So some of those shots that I saw were like, they were forced. They were forced attempts right there. I like the aggressiveness that way he played, but let's not pretend that a lot of those were bricks. A lot of those were bricks. And I mean, if you're taking 43 shots and you're making only 20, again, that's a under 50% shooting percentage. That is not all-time great. That is not a virtuoso. That's below average is what it is. If we're being completely honest and we're keeping it a buck, that is below average. 7 for 22 from 3, as we saw right there. A lot of them were good shots. He just missed. But a couple of them as well were forced shots. So, not a big fan of just his shooting performance as well. And now, right now, what I'm going to do is we're going to listen to some players and coaches give their opinions on what they thought behind the Bam Adebayo scoring performance. And there is some negativity going towards in the league. So we got this Kelly Oubre one that we're going to play for you right now.
Well, one I'm going to say is definitely legendary. The box score, right? The number. But and shout out to Bam, right? You know, he's just implemented himself in history, and I'm kind of salty that he bested Kobe. It's one of my favorite players for sure. But I'm gonna just say this, man. Joel did it efficiently, and he did it in 3 quarters.
He did it more efficiently, and he did it in 3 quarters. And I think that's the thing that irks us or that rubs us the wrong way. Is the fact that Bam Adebayo was in the game. The game was already over. There was no need for him to go in there and continue to play, because if he gets hurt, knock on wood. Say Bam were to tear his ACL. Say if some type of injury were to occur to Bam Adebayo. And it all happened in that 4th quarter when the game was already over. The game was won, but he wanted to pad his stats and be able to be like, "Hey, I scored this amount of points. I passed Kobe." And you can't tell me that wasn't going through his head or wasn't going through the head of his entire teammates. because the way that we saw it play out shows exactly that's what it was. You don't, if you, for what we've seen in the past with regarding high scoring performances, once the game is over, the player is out. There's no need for him to go in and play anymore. The coaches ask, hey, do you want to go in? What does the player do? He humbly takes himself out and says, nah, I'm good. I already got mine. Let the other guys play. What does Bam do? Okay, we're going to stay in here. We're going to continue to score and pad our stats, which it's not, it doesn't look pretty. And the fact that, I'm going to go to it again, inefficient, under 50% scoring, under 30% from the three, 43 free throw attempts. That just kind of shows just where our league is right now, to where you can't really play defense. You're not able to be physical with the player, but an offensive player can be physical with the defender. Refs are out here really manipulating, controlling the game, and trying to make this more of an offensive-friendly league. And it just sucks because because when you hear 83 points, you're like, oh man, that's a lot. Like, how'd he get it? Like, where his shooting percentage, where are his stats? And you look at the box score and you see what they were, and you're just like, all right. 86 shot attempts from the field and the free throw line combined, 86 to get 83 points. I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's go ahead and listen to, we got another one here with Coach JJ Redick.
It's incredible what he was able to do. I walked in and I saw the score. He was at the free throw line, and I saw the score. And they've been playing great basketball lately. And I said to my coaching staff, oh, he's rolling. And they all kind of looked at each other. They're like, are you kidding right now? I was like, no, what's up? They're like, they're 36 and 28 or whatever they are. They're getting ready to be 37 and 28. And they're like, no, Bam has 77. And I was like, huh? And then I watched the last 3 minutes, and that was a different type of basketball.
Different type of basketball. That wasn't your regular, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to earn my points. No, that was a force-fed last couple minutes in the game. The game was over. Why are you still in the pad your stats? Makes no sense to me. Not a big fan of it. Not at all. And then the Washington Wizards coach also has something to say after following the game. And we're going to play that for you right now, right here.
I give him credit in the first half. He shot the ball terrific. He scored the ball really well. Obviously, he came out and had a little bit in the third too, but they obviously kept him in the game. And there was a lot of foul calls, 16 free throws in the fourth quarter. Just trying to take the ball out of his hands. He's still got some, free throws 40 feet from the rim. I can't explain some of those calls, but that's all I got to say on that. And the fourth quarter just turned into not a real basketball game, but we got to be better with our ball security, and we got to own the fact that we let this guy get hot, and that's on us.
In the fourth quarter, it turned into not a real basketball game. It didn't. It did not. Because when you have other players missing free throws on purpose, when you have your teammates missing free throws on purpose and then fouling the other team in order for you to get more possessions, that way you have more of an opportunity to score more points, there's something that's not genuine. There's something that where the integrity is being hurt from the performance itself when that occurs. And people could say, oh, you're old school, who cares? He got the points, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, congratulations. 83 points is 83 points. A hard feat to get by anyone. And by no any means am I saying that it was an easy 83. But when you go around doing that at the end of the game, there's nothing to really respect about it or to really give that much praise or attention to. And the fact that it was force-fed and it was forced rather than letting it happen organically. Let it happen genuinely. So that's my takeaway. And we're going to do one last thing before we close this out, and that is comparing this performance to Kobe Bryant's 81-point game. Now, as we mentioned, Bam Adebayo, his team was up the entire time. That's the big key factor in all this. Bam Adebayo's team was up the entire time with no fear of losing. There was no thought in my mind, or probably in their mind, that we're going to lose to one of the worst teams in the NBA with the Washington Wizards. So I want that context to be prefaced first. So Kobe's 81, he shot 28 for 46, 60% from the field. 18 of 20 from the free throw line, 90%. 7 for 13 from the three-point line, over 50%. And the big thing here, because people are going to try and say, oh, but he played against the weak Raptors, or this, that, or Kobe didn't pass the ball, or blah, blah, blah. The Lakers were down 63 to 49 at half. Kobe had about 30-something at the half, going into halftime. He had about 30-something points. He needed to score every bit of those 55 points in the second half in order for his team to win. He did that. He scored that because he needed to. He willed his team to win. His team was down double digits in an era where it was one of the lowest scoring seasons in NBA history, that 2006 season, where Kobe scored 35 points a game when teams in the league were averaging around 95 points, less than 100. So that context matters, because if you're giving the same amount of possessions that Kobe were to have, say, if he were in this era compared to how many possessions that Bam had, man, easily he could have scored 100. You got Bam shooting the ball. Kobe shot the ball 3 more times, but he was way more efficient. Made 8 more shots. 7 for 22 from the 3 compared to 7 of 13. Took 9 less 3-point attempts. And my biggest thing is Kobe Bryant. I'm an all-time great Kobe Bryant fan, and I will say that forever. I mean, I got the logo tatted on me. I got it the day after he passed away. I got the high school jersey hanging up right there. I am 100% a big Kobe Bryant fan. But as I mentioned earlier, if a record is going to be broken, which we all want to see records be broken, we want to see them done in an integral and in a genuine, organic way. We don't want to see it force-fed. We don't want to see you trying to be able to, we just don't want to see it forced. We don't want to see your teammates miss free throws on purpose, have them foul the other team in order to get you more possessions. We don't want to see that, because to me, that's cheating the game. You're forcing yourself to do it. You're not letting it happen organically to where the fan and the consumer can respect more compared to forcing it. So that's just those are my thoughts, and comparing the two. And when Kobe was out of the game, the game was over already, but he was still feeling it. The other Laker players weren't fouling the Raptors in order to go to the free throw line in order for him to get more possessions to score more points. That did not happen. The game was still going on. The flow was still going in the game. So those are the two big differences when comparing Bam's 83-point game and Kobe's 81-point game. And if we want to compare, say, Bam's 83 to other players' great performances, such as when Luka had his 70-plus against the Hawks, again, organic, genuine way. Damian Lillard had his 70 points. Donovan Mitchell had his points. You had Embiid have his points as well. Those were all done in genuine manners. Those were done not forcefully. They weren't staying in the fourth quarter to just stat pad. They actually did it in order to win the game, Joel Embiid did it in 3 quarters, so he took himself out saying, I don't need it. I already got my points. He didn't cheat the game. He didn't do that. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this because I feel like I'm going in circles, repeating the same thing over. No, we're not taking anything away from Bam scoring the 83 points because 83 points is a difficult thing to do in any league. Shoot, scoring 40 points in any league is pretty hard. It's hard. 30 points. Some players don't even hit 20 points. And for him to score 83 points, that is a great feat to do. All-time great. But as always, context matters on how you got your points. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Appreciate you guys for watching. You can agree or disagree with what I had to say on this. And go ahead and leave a comment. Please give me your thoughts. I want to know if you thought I'm right, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me. Tell me why you think that this, no matter what happened, the way it played out, that it shouldn't matter and that this is something that we should all remember. So, looking forward to hearing you guys' responses. Then we're going to leave it out like that, all right? So, catch you guys next time. Peace.
110, going 110. Like a starter now, never from the bullpen. Call up Hirsch, never wish the worst. It come back around, check it, karma is a curse. Why you looking like you wanna be on innocent? You ain't got a front now, know that you've been missing.